Hello, it is Saturday, January 25th, 2025. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Saturday crossword today, which means we're solving the second of two themeless crosswords this week, and it could well be the trickiest crossword of that week. We'll have to find out momentarily. And this potentially tricky edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Michael, Lakehouse Bros, and, as always, the indomitable Shoalmaster and the indefinable Charlie Paget. Thank you so much to the four of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They do, of course, keep this channel going day by day, and for that, I'm very grateful. Thank you so much to those four and to everybody who supports the channel by way of the Patreon campaign. It really does keep this thing alive. Thank you. And if you'd like to contribute in that same way, you can head to patreon.com/dailysolve or click the description field link, and you'll find there the bonus videos available to patrons, such as yesterday's mini puzzle pseudo speed solve. I did pretty well. I did pretty well in the mini crosswords yesterday. And of course, the rest of the bonus videos are there. And for benefactors, the official mug is also on that very site. Thanks to everybody who supports in that way. And thanks if you subscribe on YouTube, which is also a big help. You can also, of course, join the Daily Solve Discord chat server, a nice friendly chat community, linked in the description field as well. All right, let's get on to today's crossword, a themeless Saturday puzzle by Michael Lieberman, who has constructed a couple of dozen puzzles for the New York Times. It was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. Let's start solving. Undesirable airplane seatmate. Middle seater or something like that? Or maybe a pet or something? I don't know. I'm not actually sure what we're looking for there. Ugh, that's the worst. Awful? I don't know. What about this? Largest U.S. union with about 3 million members in brief. I don't know, actually. I don't know offhand. It passes through many Swiss banks. This is probably a river, right? I mean, you read this and you think it means sort of Swiss private banking or something like that, but I suspect it's a bit of intentional misdirection. It'll be the Rhone or something like that. Let's see if that works with this. Well, it probably does, but I don't know. Poet Bradstreet. Oh, Anne Bradstreet. She's a poet, right? Is that right? Loy of Filmdom, Myrna Loy, who I probably most frequently think of as being one of the leads in the Thin Man series, which, if you've never seen the Thin Man, particularly the original film, the first one, made about 1 million of them because they're very successful. But the first film, The Thin Man, is just one of the most fun things ever put to screen, I think. Undesirable airplane seatmate. Arm hog or armrest something. Armrest. It could be armrest hog, actually. Someone who sort of, I don't know, takes up the armrest, I guess. I think this is the sort of thing people have gotten in fights over. I'm not sure if this is right, but let's check the crosses and see. Ugh, that's the worst. Okay, it's not awful. It's, still don't know. Thing of interest. Oh, rate, like an interest rate. There we go, that's what it is. So it's a financial concept here, not something that simply is interesting to you. Foe in a 1932 Australian war. Oh, I've heard of the Emu Wars. I actually don't know. Is that one of those things where they introduced some other species, some sort of other species to kind of combat one, and then they became invasive? Or probably not. This is probably something totally different about farmers dealing with emus or something. I don't know. Anyway, Cheap Thrills pop star. I don't know. Is it Sia, maybe? Or SCA? I actually don't know. There's some of the pop names that come up. Clutches. Talons, maybe? Well, I was thinking clutches as a noun, but it could be clutches as a verb, which would be what? Don't know. Job that might require a fence. A heist? Yeah. So not a fence in the sense of something that delineates one area from another, but rather a fence, someone who helps you sell stolen goods. Which you might need after a heist, stealing gold or something. This is a waste of my time. Oh, this doesn't look good, does it? Okay, I might have something wrong in one of these crosses. I'm going to leave it for now. We'll come back to it. Body shops. Fortune's body shops, question mark. I'm not sure. Clutches. Okay, what about this? Aeschylus Trilogy of Tragedies. The Oedipus saga, or is that Aeschylus, or is that no? Who is that? Oh, I can't think. Anyway, I'm not sure offhand about this one. The Forest in a Metaphor. Oh, was it Sophocles? Was Sophocles Oedipus? Sorry. Anyway, The Forest in a Metaphor. Don't know. I mean, I guess, is it referring to something like the metaphor seeing the forest for the trees, or maybe not? I don't know. Okay, I think I have something wrong, but I don't yet know what. Abbreviation in some job titles. Assistant, maybe? And the body shops probably ends with an S. Does that help with the forest in a metaphor? It probably does, but not for me at the moment. Funding source for the Great Wall of China. Some kind of tax, probably? I don't know if that's right, but let's look at this. Certain something. Yeah, certain something is an X factor. Okay, so yeah, so some kind of tax. I don't know what, meat tax, or what would end in T. I don't know. We'll keep looking around. Clutches. Aeschylus Trilogy of Tragedies. Oh, Orestes, not Orestes. What is this? Orestidae or something? What is this? Body shops. The forest in a metaphor. I don't know. Oh, the Gestalt, maybe? Is that like, is that kind of what we're saying here? The kind of whole thing? Kind of essence of the thing? Let's see. This is a waste of my time. Could it end in here? That would allow this R to be correct that I wanted in 9. Clutches. Oh, yes, thrall. Oh, it is a noun, but a different one than I was thinking. So if someone's within your thrall, they're within your clutches, you could say. Okay, so then what's this then? This is a waste of my time. Oh, why am I here? It does work. These are correct. At least these particular letters are. I just couldn't think of words that fit into those spaces. But there we go. This is finally happening. Okay. Ugh, that's the worst. Oh, it could be something like, oh man. It could be a sort of just exclamation of disappointment. Okay. And the largest U.S. union is the NEA, the National Education Association or something. It's the union to which teachers belong, which is, I have actually heard that that's the largest U.S. union. Okay. Oh, mortuaries. Oh, right. Okay. So literally where bodies are put, dead bodies in this case. And then Cheap Thrills Pop Star was CO, which was my first thought at least. And then, have we looked at this yet? We have. Funding source for the Great Wall of China is a salt tax? Okay, maybe that's what it is. That's interesting. Joined a union, signed up, or no, joined a union. The thing is, it's a Saturday puzzle. This could especially be some kind of misdirection. We could have been put into the mind of a trades union because of NEA, but maybe in fact this is some completely different kind of union, like a marriage or something. I don't know. Brass. Gall. If you've got brass, you've got impudence maybe, or confidence, you've got gall. And then blank nage, cooked in a broth. A la nage, I suppose, that's pretty normal French, construction. The way in Islam, Sharia means the way in Islam. In Arabic, I guess, but in this context in Islam. Joined a union. Oh, said yes. Okay, I was right. Yeah, I was right in the sense that it was misdirecting, and in fact, it is dealing with a marriage or an impending marriage in this case. Okay, Barbie director Greta Gerwig directed that film and co-wrote it. Under Control. Don't know. I have it under control. I have it managed. I have it. I've brought it under control. I don't know. Consumed with grief. Shame ate or something like that. You consumed or something ate maybe, or eaten. I think it's something like that. We've got that question mark pun indicator. I'm just not quite sure of the exact emotion or exact way of phrasing this, I should say. Under control, current events, probably something to do with water, current, water, ocean currents or river currents or something. Current events, or could be electricity, a current, I guess. I don't know. What's going on up here? Felt in the Christmas spirit. Elf something. Elf. So felt, probably not felt as in experienced, but felt as in the material, the soft sort of fabric. Elf hats or something? Elf suit? I don't know. Asian grocery chain. Oh, H Mart is a Asian food grocery chain at least in the U.S. and probably elsewhere. Felt in the Christmas spirit. Maybe it is elf hats. A, B, and C, but not T and V. Notes on the musical scale, or what? I don't see how that fits in here. What would these be? Oh, vitamins. That's what it is. Vitamins A, B, and C. There's no vitamin T or vitamin V. Okay. Oh, okay. Maybe Orestiid or something. I'm sure I'm butchering that. Aeschylus Trilogy of Tragedies. I think it's going to be something like this. Is it an S, maybe? One working on a column. An editor or a journalist, maybe? Not sure. Some corporate executives are, VPs, vice presidents, probably. And then one working on a column is, I don't know. Confirmation, e.g. We'll come back to that. Sight in Monet's boating on the river Epte. A canoe, probably. That seems plausible. I can't really picture that painting off the top of my head, but I think that seems likely, or at least possible to be right. Number at filling stations, question mark. So again, there's this question mark indicating punnery. Filling stations, you think of a forecourt, a service station, a gas station, but I assume that's not the case because of the question mark. I don't know. Oh, that makes sense. I get it now. There we go. That's what I want to feel about the preceding answer, clue. They support many student movements. Again, this is probably doesn't mean protest movements, or if it does, support is then going to be the bit that's punny. I suspect this is misdirection, but I don't yet know how. Spreads is strews. Like if you strew seeds maybe throughout soil, you strew them, you spread them. Number at filling stations. I don't know. I do not know what that is. Sound from a hedge clipper. Snip, probably. They support many student movements. Don't know. Extend across. A bridge extends across a ravine. It spans it. Strike one. Page? Pogo? Strike one. What does that mean? You strike one. You strike a pose. Oh, is that? Right. Okay. So let me explain how I thought to get there. Strike one, you read that and probably the first thing you think is, strike one in baseball or something. That won't be the case because this isn't in quotation marks. You'd want it to be in quotation marks, and then it would mean, it's someone saying that, and then you're looking for an equivalent phrase. It also doesn't mean strike one. And the reason you know that is because of that same exclamation point. When you have that exclamation point in a non-quotation clue, what it means is this is something you could say about the answer. You could say about the answer, strike one. And so I thought, okay, well, what are some things you strike? And an example of a thing that you might strike is a pose. You might be told to strike a pose. So I think that's probably the answer here. And then that caused me to rethink this one. Number at filling stations. I still don't know what that is. Combat blank tes défenseurs, la Marseillaise line. Avec. Fight with your defenders in French. Number at filling stations. Novocaine? Oh, it's not a number. It's a number. It's a substance that numbs you, an anesthetic. So Novocaine, used by dentists, I think, commonly. Is it what? I don't actually know what letter goes here. Is it an I or an A? Oh, it's an O, because coward of the theater world. Again, this is a Saturday puzzle, lots of misdirection. we're not referring to someone who is cowardly, but rather someone whose name is Coward, Noel Coward, the great playwright in this case. And so there we go. And then they support many student movements. Oh, PE classes, that's what it is, physical education classes. Okay. And then here we have organization in 2015's Bridge of Spies. I've actually not seen that. I know it's a Spielberg film. I've not seen it, but the CIA. It's a spy film, I guess, obviously, based on the title. So the CIA might be involved, and is, apparently. Under Control is, I don't know. One working on a column. I don't know. I still don't know that either. Let's find things I've not yet seen. Jam. A spot. If you're in a bit of a jam, you're in a bit of a spot. A tricky situation. Place whose name has an appropriate final vowel sound. Spa. Yes, spa, because it ends with ah, which might be the sound you make after a day at one. You might say, ah. Reproductive cells are, I'm sure this will be very obvious when I see it, but I can't think at the moment. In the 80s or 90s, say. I don't know, retro or so. Oh no, I bet it doesn't mean the year. I bet it's like temperature or something like that. What else could it be? I'm trying to think of how I could be misdirected over here. What about this? Reproductive cells dispatched towards, send, or dispatch someone towards something or someone, you, I don't know. Classic novel of the South Seas. Is it Omu? By Melville? Reproductive cells. Dispatch towards. Confirmation, e.g. Okay, I need to keep going. Take another direction. Zig or zag, maybe? I'm not sure that's right, but let's try it. Oh, Zadie Smith, the Autograph Man novelist. There we go. Okay, so that was correct. So this will be an I or an A then. Namely, to wit or something. It doesn't work. Sublimation products are gases. So, state of matter. It just deals with the states of matter. So you sublimate into a gas. The liquid sublimates into a gas. Okay, take another direction. Yeah, zig or zag. Some photo montage art. Dada, maybe? Dadaist art, kind of that particular absurdist art movement. I don't know if that's actually right. Long-bladed thrusting dagger. Is that a dirk? Is that how you define a dirk? Which I know is a sort of dagger of some kind, but I couldn't define. Holders of orbs. Wizards? Wizards contemplating orbs? I don't know. Orbs. Emperors would hold orbs to symbolize their domain over the earth. What would this be? I don't know. They'll show you a thing or two. This looks like it's probably an E. Namely. Oh, id est. There we go. From the Latin. And that's where we get the abbreviation IE to indicate namely, or that is to say this thing. Okay, so they show you a thing or two. I don't know. Oh, tour guides, maybe. Yeah, that fits and works with this ending. Lines at a grocery store. UPC, I think something like Universal Product Code or something, with the barcode, the UPC. They're literally lines. Miracle Grow is a fertilizer product of some kind. And reproductive cells are still something that I am going blank on. This looks like sockets, maybe, holders of orbs. Or pockets, maybe. Like in a billiards table, perhaps? I don't know. Holders of orbs. Why do I not see what that is? Dispatch towards. I don't know. Confirmation, e.g. Ardent supporter. If you're an ardent supporter, you're what? A diehard? You're a something stan? I don't know. Okay, we'll need to find another way in here. Novel technology, question mark. Greta and said yes. Those both seem right. So this is interesting, this AE. Current events. Maybe said yes is wrong. Is there a different way to phrase this? Said I do. Right, it's not the acceptance of an engagement. It is, in fact, at the wedding. Okay, so I was wrong slightly in how I was thinking about that. In fact, this is more accurate anyway. Current events. So what about this? Novel technology, question mark. Does it mean a technology used in printing novels or something? I don't know. Old Atlas initials, SSR maybe? One of the constituent republics of the USSR, perhaps? Could be, I'm not sure that's right, but it's possible. I mean, it would be a valid answer. Consumed with grief. Stress 8. There we go. I was on the right track. I just didn't have the right word. Okay, well there we go. Where locks are picked. A hair salon? Yeah, there we go. So locks of hair as opposed to door locks. It's fit for a king. It's fit for a king. A sash maybe, or something that's probably literally fitted. Blank Mountains, Kyrgyz Tajik border range. How do I not know what this is? I don't know offhand. Weight of an adult elephant very imprecisely. Tons? I guess very imprecise in that that's a completely indeterminate number. That feels like it's probably the answer. Indicator of deflation. Loss? I'm not sure. Segments of curling matches. Do you call them ends, maybe? I don't know what else would fit there. Indicator of deflation. Oh, a hiss. Like a tire deflating. You'd hear a hiss. That's what it is. Or a balloon. It's fit for a king. It does look like a sash, doesn't it? And then S&P 500 part. Oh, so the S&P 500 is a stock market index, but you don't need to know that. You just need to see that the phrase S&P 500 has an ampersand in it, an and sign. So the LA Mountains, there we go. That was the border range that I did not know. Oh, an e-reader is novel technology. So it is a technology used to deal with novels, books. I figured it was going to be dealing with books, but not in printing them. Okay, ardent supporter, a mega fan. Maybe this isn't tour guides. They'll show you a thing or two. Something guides, certainly, obviously, but riptides are the current events. There we go. It is literal currents in an ocean. So I feel I'm sort of on this puzzle's wavelength. I'm just not always getting the answer instantly. Ardent supporter, a diehard or something? No, that doesn't fit. I don't know. I still can't quite see it. In the 80s or 90s, say. Over something? Oh, yeah, it is probably over something because then this could be devotee. There we go. Okay. So in the 80s or 90s, say over par? I guess that's in golf. Okay, I don't know enough about golf to know exactly how much over par that would be or whatever, but anyway. Okay, I guess how many holes are there in an ordinary golf course? And it's typically par 3, so yeah, I guess this would be well over par. I don't know. Reproductive cells are something still. This probably is Omu. There we go, the classic novel of the South Seas. I suspect that's right. And then confirmation is one working on a column. Confirmation, e.g. Here, I don't know. I don't know why I can't see that. This does look like tour guides. We have a T there now. So, spores are reproductive cells. There we go. Okay, so, fungus and things and ferns. I wasn't thinking about that. Okay, holders of orbs are eye sockets, of course. Our eyes are orbs. There we go. So dispatch towards, route something towards something. So maybe sending a parcel or something like that. And then showing initiative is an enterprise, or you could have an initiative as an enterprise. That's probably more accurate. I don't even think I read that clue before and I missed that. Oops. So confirmation, e.g. is, ceremony. It's like, confirmation in the Catholic Church is a rite. It's a ceremony. There we go. And then one working on a column. Is it a corporal, a military column, or is it a CPA, a certified public accountant working on columns in a spreadsheet or something? Orestia, that feels better. I don't think an L feels correct there. Okay, I think this is right. It is. Okay, so that was A for CPA, one working on a column in the sense of, a balance sheet, a spreadsheet. Okay, well, there we go. At least I think that's what that's referring to. So that was for me certainly trickier than yesterday's puzzle, as I recall. But it's funny. It felt as though I was sort of on this puzzle's wavelength kind of throughout. I feel I was usually, not in every case, not in this one with column, but in most of the cases, I was catching on to the intended meaning, the misdirected kind of true intention of the punny clues, but I wasn't always actually then using that intuition to answer immediately. So there were some very good bits of punning and misdirection in here. I mean, current events is pretty classic, using current for that. Number for number is also another pretty classic bit of crossword misdirection. Body Shops, yeah, that took me a while. Strike One took me some time, but it did help me get something else. Coward of the Theater World, I mean, that one was pretty straightforward. If you've heard of Noel Coward, certainly that one becomes straightforward. So there are all sorts of things like that. There are lines at a grocery store. Lines for barcodes is another common little bit of punnery. It passes through many Swiss banks. I don't remember seeing that one before. That's pretty good. Anyway, there we have it. That was the Saturday crossword. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow for the Sunday edition, a larger, but probably a bit more approachable grid overall. We'll have to find out. Come back tomorrow and see. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Saturday. Take care.